Another dash cam video to bring to you this time. Now this time I'm actually going to Maryland Live Casino, and I'm actually going to go ahead and tell you some things that are coming up on the channel, and also give you a little bit of review about the Mazda MX5 RF that I bought about a month ago. I'm going to give you a little review on that. I'm also going to tell you about some things coming up on the channel as well. Okay, and I want to mention, if you want to click the subscribe button, feel free to do so. That way you can keep up with all my current videos. Also, when you're watching a video, if you click the little bell icon at the bottom of the video as it's playing, that will let you know whenever I have new videos coming out as well. If you have any comments, leave those in the comments section down below. And also, if you like what you see, don't forget to smash that like button as well. Now, we have a beautiful day today. It's July 3rd. Now, I wanted to mention, too, on the channel now, there's a special video coming up that's going to be coming out on July 4th. If you look under my channel, look under Special Interest Videos, July 4th, 2019 special, I have a video that I shot down in my game room, and it's got a lot of really fun things on that video. It's going to have, it's got pinball machines on there. The ones that it features, it's got Apollo 13, and it's also got some pinball on there as well, my digital pinball machine I have in my basement arcade. If you want to check those videos out as well, just go to my channel, look under Skeletal Pinball Machine. You can check out that video as well on the digital pinball machine that I built downstairs in my basement arcade from the ground up. Now, also on the channel too, we're going to be having, I have new videos from Las Vegas going up. I'm actually getting ready now to do another trip to Las Vegas. I have a trip coming up July 28th to August 2nd. I have another trip. I'm going to be going out to Las Vegas. I'm also going to shoot a whole bunch of I'm going to shoot a bunch of dash cam videos and things as well when I go on that trip. I mean, slot machine videos when I go on that trip as well from the Cosmopolitan when I'm out there too. I've had a lot of positive responses on my Cosmopolitan slot videos, so I'm going to make more when I go out to Vegas in July. Now, also on the channel right now, if you look under under car show videos, I have a lot of new car show videos now that are on the channel as well that I've just uploaded. Quite a few of them actually will tell you about different car shows and things that I've been to. And also on the channel now, if you go to workshop videos, you can check out some of my workshop videos. I re-edited a couple of the videos and put them back up on the channel now. If you want to check out those, go to workshop videos, and on my channel you can actually check those out as well. Now, I wanted to mention too that before we talk about the car, what the road I'm currently traveling on, this is the ICC Inter-County Connector. Now, to the left of me, you're going to see what looks like a funny-looking Christmas tree. That's actually a cell phone tower actually camouflaged with what look like tree branches. Now, right next to that is actually the National Capital Trolley Museum. Now, if you go to my channel and look under my videos, look for National Capital Trolley Museum. There's a really neat place there where you can ride on trolleys and things and learn all about trolleys and things that are in Maryland and all the different things that they had in Maryland, like such as how they function and where they function. And that's one of the really cool things by going to the National Capital Trolley Museum. And there's actually a video on my channel right now that will tell you about that. Also on the channel now too, I want to mention, there's also special interest videos. I have several of them up there now. Those are all specials. I have a Memorial Day special, 2019. I have a New Year's Day special. I have an Easter Day special. I have a 500 subscriber special. Now those videos are a little bit longer. Most of the videos I have in that category, they're over an hour, and they're usually a compilation of several different things that I have as well. If you want to check those out, once again, look under special interest videos. You can check those out. All right, so what we're going to do now is let's go ahead now and talk about my Mazda MX5 that I have here. Now, I've had this car for about a month. So far, guys, I got to tell you, I've been really happy with it. I'm just going to tell you a few things about the car, just a few things in detail, you know, about the car. And remember, we're going to Maryland Live Casino, so you'll actually get a chance to see that in this video as well. But right now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the MX5 RF that I have. Now, so far, I got to tell you guys, this car has been great. I haven't had any problems with the car so far. Everything's been working out well. I'm still waiting on getting my permanent tags. I haven't got those yet. They're supposed to be coming in shortly. But so far, guys, I got to tell you, this car has been absolutely amazing. I've really been enjoying it. Now, I want to mention, if you want to check out a video about my car, just look on my channel. Look for the Little Red Rocket Mazda MX5 review, and that actually will where in that video I actually tell you a little bit about the Mazda MX5. You know, things such as how did I where did I buy it and things like that. Now, I actually bought my car from people have actually asked me, and I may not have mentioned it before, but I actually bought my car from Gaithersburg Mazda in Gaithersburg, Maryland. The guys at Gaithersburg Mazda were absolutely wonderful at helping me get this car, get a deal and everything done on the car, and I can't thank them enough for getting the deal done on this. Now, as far as the dealership and everything goes, that's been great. You know, all the financing, everything went really well. Had a great experience at the dealership. Now, if you want to check out that dealership, if you're in the Gaithersburg, Maryland area, just go to the Google, type in Gaithersburg Mazda, and you can actually check it out if you get a chance. And the salesman I dealt with was a salesman named Todd, and then the finance manager was named Amin. They were both very helpful in getting this deal done for me, and I ended up getting me a really good deal. I got good finance. I got 1.9% financing, everything that I needed, and basically the deal ended up working out this time. I tried to get a car last year, but it wasn't quite the right time for it. This was a year, and everything worked. Everything came together today, and allowed me to get the car that you have here in my video. Now, I also want to mention too that in addition to that, not only was the dealership great, but all the follow-up calls and everything I had, you know, with Mazda and everything were really good too. Shortly after I got this car, Mazda actually sent me a really nice email from the Mazda headquarters, welcoming me, you know, saying welcome to the Mazda family. I thought that was really nice, very, very nicely put together, and a really nice gesture on Mazda's part to do that. And I gotta tell you guys, first thing I found out about this car is I thought the $35,000 price tag was a little pricey for this car. Now remember, this is the Mazda MX5 RF in the automatic, so, and also it has the Soul Red Crystal paint, so that's a little bit more than the regular Miata, than the regular MX5, because it does have a couple options that the other ones don't have, and also this is a Grand Touring model as well. But I gotta tell you guys, for $35,000, I've been very happy with it. I found out one of the reasons the car costs what it does is because it has what's called an aluminum power plant frame. And that aluminum is fairly expensive. And that's one of the reasons this car was a little bit more than I originally thought. But you know what? I gotta tell you guys, after having this car for a month, it definitely justified itself. The fuel savings alone on this car have been phenomenal. Now, one thing that this car does positively, brilliantly, and beautifully, as I can say, is it manages fuel very, very well. The other car that I had before is I had a Dodge Challenger Scat Pack, and it had an option where if you were on the highways and things like that, it would go down to 4 cylinders and it would save fuel. The problem I had with that is it didn't run on 4 cylinders very often because I would have little hills and things. And it turns out I was averaging about 20 miles a gallon on that car when I was on average, but when I would go on trips like what I'm on now because of all the hills and things. Well, this car is completely different. This car actually has a fuel management system that's absolutely amazing with the motor and everything it has. Now, this is a 2019, so the motor is a newer motor than on some of the previous versions. And it did have a couple of, you know, the motor itself did have a few upgrades done. They shaved a little bit of weight off the motor and everything with the parts and things, and also boosted the horsepower to 181 horsepower. But I gotta tell you, like right now when I'm going downhill right now, I'm getting 99.9 miles an hour going downhill. This car, the fuel management system is absolutely incredible on this car. When you're going downhill, it basically almost shuts the fuel off to nothing, and you can actually see what you're going at because on the left-hand side there's a fuel management window that actually tells you exactly how much fuel you're using, miles per gallon and average miles per gallon. And lately I've been averaging about 34 miles a gallon on this car. Now, if you're curious as what this happens if I get in bumper-to-bumper traffic, even in bumper-to-bumper traffic on this car, I'm averaging about 24 miles a gallon, even in bumper-to-bumper traffic. And sometimes it's as high as 28. It just depends on what conditions I'm in. You know, is traffic stopped? Is it moving? You know, various things. You know, are there hills that I'm going down? A number of things. But even with that, it's been, the fuel savings has been phenomenal on this car. I've been very happy with how this car manages fuel. Now, the interior and everything in the car too as well has also been really, really nice. I really appreciate the leather seats and everything in this car. I've gotten to the point I've really started to enjoy the leather seats. I didn't have leather seats in my previous car, but in this car, the leather seats really are a pleasure. They've been very comfortable. I've had good support in the seats. Now, one of the things I want to point out is if you notice in my MX5 car review, you want to make sure that you test drive this car several times before you buy one. Reason being is you want to make sure your legs and everything clarifying and you don't have any problems with fitting in the car. I have not had any problems, and I can tell you guys, this car's been phenomenal for me. I haven't had any problems at all. I've driven this car 2-3 hours, no problems whatsoever driving the car. Now, something else somebody was describing is they say that if you have the RF model with the retractable fastback, that when you're on the highways and things like that with the top down, you get a buffering effect behind your ear that makes it very hard to drive and listen to music. I have not experienced that in this car. This car's been great. I've actually had this car up to 70 before, and the buffering they're talking about, I have not had buffering in the car since I've had it. Now, I do have a wind blocker in the back window, and that might make a difference. It could also be that my height makes a difference as well. But I haven't had any problems with wind buffering being a big problem in this car. Now, of course, if you have the top down, yeah, you're going to get a lot more wind because your top's down. I don't have the top down right now. Of course, you're going to have more wind with the top down and everything too. But I got to tell you guys, that's one of the things I love about this car. When you put the top down on this car, it is absolutely amazing. It's almost like you have two cars in one. You know, you have a hard top, which this one is. It's a hard top, which is the RF, and then when you put the roof back, then you have a half fastback, and that is really, really amazing. You know, you get to see all the clouds and everything, and it's beautiful to be able to experience that too. And I also found too that when I'm driving on the road, because it's a hard top, I don't have as much road noise in this car as I did with one of the soft top models that I drove. Now, one of the questions somebody asked me is, why did I elect to go with an RF versus the soft top? I'll be totally honest with you, I think the soft top model is pretty darn awesome too. But in my neighborhood where I live, because my car sits out all the time, and also because of places I visit, you know, like when I go to King's Dominion, for me, it's just a matter of time. And also the shopping center I work in has had a few issues. It's just a matter of time before somebody comes by with a knife and slices my top or hits it with a screwdriver and puts a hole in it and causes me a problem. And also being the car sitting out all the time, it would be subjected to the elements pretty heavily because my car sits out all the time. It's not in a garage. So that's one of the reasons that I chose to go with the RF model. Now, it did cost me about $3,000 more, but for me, it's been worth every penny. Now, other things in the car, like as far as like the instruments and everything, I've had no problem with the instruments in the car. They've been very good. I haven't had any trouble with the instrumentation in the car. Even driving at night, you know, the instruments and everything in here are very well lit at night for night driving. I haven't had any problems with night driving. Now, things such as the braking and everything too. Braking on this car has been phenomenal. Now, this is a lot lighter than the car I had previous, so it might be the fact that it's got a, you know, it's the weight balance, the fact that it's lighter. The braking on this car has been phenomenal. It's a very easy car to slow down in because it's a lot lighter, and I also found that not only is it an easy car to brake in, it's also an easier car to accelerate in as well. This car gets up to 60 to 80 miles an hour very quickly without very little effort whatsoever on my part. And that's one of the reasons. I think also it has to do with the transmission that this car is linked up with. The transmission that this has, I believe that this has a 6-speed transmission in it, I believe. An automatic 6-speed transmission, which is really cool. It also has an option where you can shift gears manually through a manual mode it has as well. The transmission's been phenomenal on this car. Really, really happy with the shifts and everything. Really, really smooth. Now, the other thing too I was going to mention is that as far as the actual motor and everything goes, you know, the pickup the car has, it's been fine. I haven't had any trouble with the pickup at all. Now, it's not going to have, it's not going to be as powerful as like the Scat Pack that I had, because this car only has 181 horsepower. It doesn't have 500 horsepower like the Scat Pack. But I got to tell you, for me, I've been very happy with that. This car is very easy to drive. The steering is extremely responsive in this car. When you want to go around the corner and everything in this car, it's very, very responsive on cornering and everything. This car drives like you're mounted on a pair of rails, and that's one of the things that's amazing. You'll find like when you go, especially when you're going through mountain roads and things, when when you go like through country roads and things, this car is an absolute joy to drive. It's not difficult at all to manage, and it's actually kind of fun because you'll find that when you have the top and things and you have the wind and everything blowing in your hair, you're going to find it's a lot of fun. The fact that it handles so well, but also the fact of the matter is it doesn't use as much fuel as the other car did too, which saves me some money as well, which is also a really pleasant surprise too. Now, as far as the audio system goes, I've been very happy. The Bose speaker system that this car has been absolutely phenomenal. Now, this car features a, I believe this car has an 8-speaker sound system, if I remember correctly. It has 2 speakers in the door. It's got 2 tweeters. It's got 2 speakers in the door. It's got 2 tweeters up high, and it's also got speakers. It's also got speakers mounted in the headrest, which are really cool. So it's got 2 speakers in the door, 1 per door. It's got 2 speakers up front for the tweeters, but then it's also got 4 speakers in the headrest in the back for a total of 8 speakers, which is really amazing. So your headrest has left and right speakers. You have left and right speakers in the doors, and then you also have the tweeters that are higher up above. And I found the Bose system has been absolutely amazing. Now, this is honestly, guys, the best sound system I've ever had in a car. Bose really did their homework on this car. Now, I do use the Sirius XM radio, and that's phenomenal. But I also found out that the USB ports also work really well as well. I actually have a little flash drive, a little thumb drive plugged into my USB. It's not much bigger than a penny, and that thing holds all my music and everything. And I have that inserted into the USB drives on my car. Now, this car has 2 USB drives, and I find that 2 USB ports, and I found that's been very helpful as well with having those ports. Now, the other thing too you're going to probably wonder about is what's the interior other features like the air conditioning and everything. But guys, this car also has the best air conditioning system I've ever had in a car of any of the cars that I've owned. Now, some people might say, oh, well, that's because you have it's a smaller car. The air conditioning is going to work better because it's a smaller car. But I got to tell you guys, that's not the case. The air conditioning vents on this car are actually even a little further away than they were in my Challenger, and the air conditioning in this car is absolutely phenomenal. Very, very happy with the air conditioning. Mazda really did their homework on the air conditioning, and same goes for the heat. I use the heat, same thing with the heat. Very, very happy with the heat and everything. Now, the other thing too, is now the one thing is passenger comfort. I've had people ask me, what is it like for passengers in the car? Now, I gotta tell you, my mom does go to Maryland Live Casino with me. It takes us about 45 minutes to an hour to get here from our house, depending on the traffic that we have here. Right now we're on 95 North, so we're actually heading to Anne Arundel's Mall, where the casino is. So we have a little bit of traffic here. Passenger, my mom's been very happy with her experience in the car. Now, the only thing is, she says because the seats are a little bit harder, and the seats in this car are stiff. You're not going to get a lot of cushioning like you would in a Lexus or something like that, because remember, this car is designed to be as light as possible, and that's one of the reasons why the seats and everything are a little stiffer. I haven't had any problem. I've been very comfortable in the seats. I found that they give me good support. I haven't had any problems. But you may find that you're going to have a back support or something in here, or a cushion, if your back is really sensitive to harder seats, because these are definitely because you can't stretch your legs out as much as you can, like in my Scat Pack that I had. My mom says for her that 45 minutes to an hour is about as long as she wants to do in this car on an average trip. Now, I'm okay with that, because I got this car for myself for the most part, and this is a big change that I wanted to get. And guys, I gotta tell you, I'm not disappointed at all in my purchase. I'm very pleased how everything worked out for me in this car. The driving experience has been amazing when you're in this car. Also, because of the fact, if you look at my review, go to my review again, you're gonna notice that this car has manual gauges as well. It doesn't have digital gauges, it's got manual gauges, and I gotta tell you, those are actually a lot of fun. You really seem to enjoy the car better when you have manual gauges. We have a speedometer you have to read, versus having a digital one like I had in my Scat Pack. And that's one of the things that I had about this too. Now, I wanted to mention too, if you do want to check out reviews of my Scat Pack, they're on my channel as well. Just go to my channel, look under Dodge Challenger Scat Pack review. I have a review of my Dodge Challenger as well in there if you want to know about that car too. Okay. Now, somebody was asking me, what is it like using the audio controls for the infotainment system and everything? Guys, the infotainment system has been very easy to use. I haven't had any trouble setting it up. It was, and it has the joystick button and everything they have here in the middle, between the console, works very well navigating through the menus. Now, the one thing that is kind of cool that you're going to find is when you have to navigate things such as the security features, such as does the car beep, like when you push the button to do your headlights flash, different things they have, you know, for security. Those menus also have been very easy to navigate with the little joystick controller they have here. Now, if you look at my videos, you're going to notice there's a knob right where the transmission is, right below the transmission lever. That's actually a little joystick. You can press that down, but you also can use that left and right like a joystick as well to navigate through the menus as well, which has been very helpful in getting through all the menus. Now, somebody else asked me, what is navigation like? I have not actually tried the navigation on this car yet to see what that's like. I've heard that the navigation is pretty good on this car, but sometime I'm going to have to give that a try as well to see how that is. But I haven't done that yet. The thing too is, like, people ask me, you know, what is it like to have, you know, with the pairing up the iPhones and everything. I have not paired my phone up in this car because I don't normally use my phone in this car. Usually I have my phone in my mom's car, so I haven't had to pair it up in this car. But from what I've heard from the reviews, it's not too difficult to do. From what I've looked at, when I look at my menus, it doesn't look like that's going to be too difficult to do from what I've seen. So hopefully sometime I'll get a chance to do that as well. Now, the one thing I will point out that is important, my dash cam videos for this car now are being shot. I have a GoPro 4. I'm actually using that to shoot my dash cam. I had to get an upgraded dash cam for this car. The one that I had in my other car was not able to stand up to the abuse that this car puts on a dash cam. What I mean by that is, when you go down the road with the top down on this car, because of the fact you have a lot more wind velocities and everything coming inside the car, means that the dash camera and stuff has to be able to handle that as well. So what happened with my old dash cam is the mounting bracket actually broke on the dash cam, and the dash cam actually fell on the seat, which is actually pretty funny. I was going to upgrade to a new dash cam anyway, but I didn't think that would happen, and the actual mounting bracket actually broke because of the vibrations that the car had with the wind and everything coming in the window with the top down. It was just too much for the little dash camera to handle, and it ended up breaking. So what I did is I got a GoPro 4 here that I'm using, GoPro 4 Hero that I'm using, and what it has on it is, it also has a mount that I bought. I actually went to Best Buy and I got the GoPro Hero 4 mounting system. It's a GoPro 4 Hero for your GoPros, to mount your GoPros inside your car on the dash. Now, also, the thing is, it's also rated for up to 150 miles an hour. The suction cup that this thing has that mounts to the windshield is absolutely incredible. It is strong as can be. The mounting brackets and everything that it has as well. This thing can easily stand 100 miles an hour, but just like they say on the package, very, very solid dash cam mounts and things as well on here too. I mean, it's been phenomenal. As you're going to notice in the videos, the camera's not hardly even shaking at all, and that's because it's mounted so rigid to the dash cam mount and everything. So guys, I got to give my thumbs up to GoPro. GoPro, you did a heck of a job on this dash cam, and I'm very happy with my GoPro 4. It's been working very well, and actually, this is the first video I've made on my GoPro 4, so you're actually getting a chance to enjoy that. In addition to having the mounting hardware and everything that's been working out as well. Now we're actually coming up, we're going to be coming up on Maryland 100, and that's actually the road I take to get to Maryland Live Casino. Now, the road that we're on right now, if you're going down 95, this is north going to Baltimore. This actually is where I get to BWI Airport as well. You're going to see exits for BWI Airport as well here pretty soon here once I get down a little bit further. Now, this is what I was referring to when I say bumper-to-bumper traffic. In Maryland and Virginia, bumper-to-bumper traffic, that's kind of a way of life here. It's unfortunate, but it is a way of life, and that's another reason why having this car is really nice. I don't have to worry about gas as much and getting around and stuff because of the fact the car does get a tremendous amount of mileage per gallon that I really like. Now, I do have to use premium gas in the car, and I have been using premium gas. Now, From what I understand, you can run on a mid-level fuel in this car and still be okay. Leave in the comments section down below. Does anybody out there have an MX5, the 2019 MX5, that they tried to run with medium grade gasoline? Let me know what you think. I haven't tried it. You know, I've just stuck with the premium because it's been working out really well. And also my mom, occasionally, bless her heart, I get gas points as well because at Giant, when she shops, they have a gas points program, so it takes off a little bit. So I average about 30 to 40 cents a gallon cheaper every time I fill up. Now, if you're wondering how much fuel does this gas tank hold, the gas tank on this car holds 12 gallons. Usually I fill up, I usually fill up when the tank gets halfway. Usually costs me about $25 to fill up when the tank's at the halfway point, which is very reasonable considering the fact I don't have to do it very often, which is another thing I really like about the car, too. Now, as we get a little bit further along here, you're going to see Maryland 100 and everything's going to be coming up. And that's actually the road that we take. We go to Anne Arundel's. That's actually how we get to Maryland Live Casino. Now, if you're familiar with the 95 area, this traffic we have is pretty normal. Even though it is the 4th of July holiday, people are going to be, you know, it's July 3rd, people are going to be traveling. I normally run into traffic this way anyway. Even when my mom and I go on a Sunday and it's not a holiday, usually I do end up running into some traffic as well. Now, the one thing I also want to mention too, by the way, about the top-down experience, somebody asked, what is it like having the top down? Having the top down on this car is an absolute blast. It really makes the car much more enjoyable when you have a beautiful sunny day out. And you're going to find too that one really cool thing about this car is when you have the air conditioning on, when you're traveling at highway speeds, you don't really notice the air conditioning much, but when you get that bumper-to-bumper traffic, that air conditioning, you can feel that really well. Even with the top open, you can feel the air conditioning pretty well inside the car, which I've been really happy about so far. Now, the only thing I was going to mention, though, is if you have the top down, you need to prepare yourself for that. Now, when I bought the car, I did some experimenting. I would drive for half an hour without sunblock, and then I would drive for half an hour with the sunblock. I noticed that with the top down, the sunblock is almost mandatory on this if you're going to be out in the sun for, like, you know, for 30, 40 minutes to an hour. It's almost mandatory to have sunblock in this car if you have the top down, just to make it a little easier for you to handle the sun. And that's the thing. Now, that may depend where you're at, you know what type, whether you have, the type of skin you have and everything too. I have light skin, so I tend to burn a little easier. So that's one of the reasons why whenever I go to the park and things and they have the top down, I always throw some suntan lotion on my forehead, on my ears, and on my neck and on my face, just to kind of help battle some of the effects of having the sun beating down you when you're going places. But I gotta tell you guys, I don't mind that. I really enjoy having the top down and everything when I travel. Now, like I said, if I wasn't making this video, I would have the top down right now if I wasn't doing this video right now. But I wanted to get a chance to bring this video to you, and this was a good time to do it. Now, what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and I'll just pause for a little bit here until we get a little bit closer to Anne Arundel's. Let you take in some of the scenery and things we have. Now, this time of year, it's beautiful. You can see how lush the trees and everything are here. Very, very beautiful. Now, I wanted to mention, if you want to check out some other dash cam videos of interest on my channel, you can check out the dash cam video where I go to Wildwood, New Jersey. That's a fun one. I actually go to Wildwoods in New Jersey, a big amusement complex they have there on 3 amusement piers that go out into the ocean. It's in Wildwood, New Jersey. That's a video you might want, a dash cam you might want to check out. I also have a dash cam video going to Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. That's another one that's really cool. Now, that's a little longer because that's a little bit longer trip, but that's basically going from Atlantic City to Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. Very, very cool video. I also have videos with the Atlantic City videos in there as well. If you want to know about Atlantic City, you want to know about hotel rooms and things, they're on my channel as well. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get on Glen Burnie, East 100 to Glen Burnie. This is actually the way we get to Maryland Live Casino. Okay. Now, the one thing too, guys, I want to mention to you too, that especially if you're visiting Maryland, the one thing you want to be really careful about in Maryland is you want to watch your speeds. Speeding can be a real problem in this area. The police and everything are really on top of speeding around here, so you want to be careful. Not only that, but unfortunately, we have a lot of. Not only do we have that, but also we have a lot of speed cameras and everything in Maryland as well. We got speed cameras, we got red light cameras. So when you're in Maryland, one of the things I recommend is just be real careful about your speed. They do enforce the speeds pretty carefully around here, so you don't really want to have too heavy a foot when you're driving around Maryland. Between the police and everything they have, and my hands off to the police for doing their job. You know, they're keeping everybody safe. I can't say enough for them for the job that they do, and my hats off to all the law enforcement people and everything, also to keep us safe around the world as well. The thing is, with the speed cameras and things that they have now too, especially on like little country roads and things, they have speed cameras near schools and things, but also now you're going to find out they also have red light cameras, and I also have right turn on red light cameras. So in Maryland, when you turn right on red, you have to stop first before you turn right, unless you have an arrow that indicates otherwise, like a green right turn on arrow. Otherwise, trust me, there are cameras on these red light cameras and these right turn on cameras that nail a lot of people that are visiting, especially when I see people from out of town, like from Florida and things like that. I noticed 3 people the other day got nabbed at an intersection I was at for turning right on red without stopping because it wasn't an intersection that had an arrow. And the 3 people got tickets from visiting from other states. So just keep that in mind when you're visiting Maryland too. Watch out for those cameras. You know, they are there. So.